All right, today we're making a pasta bechamel. We're going to need about a pound of ground beef, but you can use a mix of beef, pork, lamb, really whatever you want to put in there. 30 ounces of tomato sauce, some tomato paste, lots and lots and lots of garlic, however much you want, 4 to 5 cloves, maybe more. A little bit of beef broth. I've set this out so it's not too cold. A splash of red wine we'll need. A whole onion, mozzarella cheese, and pasta of your choice. We've got pasta water here that is already starting to cook, to heat up, to boil, duh. And then right here we have our Dutch oven that is starting to heat up. Go right there and start prepping our ingredients. So first up is cutting up our garlic. After I find a knife that is suitable. Should have done this first, but. All right. A lot of garlic to cut up. Always like to give it a little slice across there and then see, that works real well, getting us some nice small pieces of garlic. So we're gonna just keep doing this. This process is gonna take a few minutes. There's some faster ways to cut up garlic too, which I'll show you. You can grab a piece, maybe a little flatter one for this kind of knife. All right, give it a nice squeeze, right? Nice squeeze, bunch it back up, and then just cut right across like you did before. I find this doesn't have the best results, but it definitely still works. You can give it a couple more chops like that. However you really want to do this, doesn't matter. Just gotta make sure it gets done. Let's try to chop this up nice and fine. Across. Still got a few more to go. Cross, one more, and finally got our garlic cut up. We're just gonna, okay, now finally have our garlic cut up. For real, we're gonna grab something to set this aside for now. Just should be using the end of my knife here, but it's a little too late for that, I guess. Definitely spilled a little bit. It's okay, straight in the sink. Let's get our onion prepped. This is kind of a small knife for this big of an onion. It's okay because we're only cutting about half of it. Peel that skin off there. Same thing we did for the garlic. And half here. We did 3 times and then straight down. Break up if you have any pieces. Like I said, this is kind of a small knife for this big of an onion. But that's all right. Oof. Oh, this is the part, oh my goodness, where your eyes start burning and we start crying a little bit, but that's okay. I'm actually gonna cut up a little bit more of this onion as I start to cry here. Just gonna do about half. See that? Ooh, you can see we got a little bit of the bad. Boom. Just going almost all the way across, and then you can go one across like that. And same thing, straight down again, and straight down again. You got your somewhat okayly diced onion, right? Definitely not perfect, that's for sure. But that's quite all right. Nobody's perfect, right? Next, we're gonna wanna season our meat. So we're gonna come right over here. Zoom out a little bit. All right. Garlic powder. Nice, healthy amount of garlic powder. I'm gonna put some Montreal steak seasoning in there, because why not, right? Save the red pepper flakes for later. I'm gonna add paprika. We're going to add black pepper. A good amount. And then we're going to add some salt. Gonna mix our meat up now. We don't want to squish everything. We just want to make sure it's nicely the seasoning is nicely incorporated throughout our meat. All right. It's looking good. We don't want this to be too clumped up, so we can try to kind of break it up ourselves a little bit, you know. Just like that. As you can see, I am getting meat on the counter. Gotta be very careful now to sanitize this counter for fear of spreading bacterias. Bacterias are bad, obviously. All right, set that to the side. Get our counter nice and cleaned up before we start our next steps. Wash your hands. Get a disinfectant wipe here. Give that a nice good. Nice good cleaning. Okay, now let's get our wine and that here, because once our meat is done cooking, we're gonna transfer it out of this pot back into here and then deglaze the bottom of this. Ooh, there you go. Then deglaze the bottom of that right there. Get this wine bottle open. We're doing this whole video in one take. Because why not? Right? Just to show you, no skips, no nothing. Just a guy in his kitchen cooking. So we got that ready. Also gonna open our tomato sauce now. Just to be ready. You want, because you don't want it to be time to add your tomato sauce in, and then you're rooting through your stuff looking for a can opener to open the frickin' sauce up, you know? That's a nightmare. It's a nightmare you don't want to live with. Overcooked, burnt food. It's not good for anybody. Same with our tomato paste. Get it open. I know it's not the most pleasant viewing experience, but it's the one you got, unfortunately. Fortunately for you. You can see I'm opening both sides of this tomato paste. You'll see why later. Make it 10 times easier to take out, but make sure as you prep it, you keep it on the plate so nothing leaks. All right. Now that we got our prep done, let's move over here. See if we can see what's going on in this pot here. All right, perfect. So, we're gonna add in our olive oil. Get a nice coating on the bottom there. This is nice and hot. I'm gonna pour our meat in. Listen to that sizzle, that's what you want. Spread this out. Get a good sear going. Press down on that meat, make sure it gets a good sear. Let that simmer for a second. Pop your drink open, if you have one. Now's the time. Give this a stir. And already we can start spooning this meat right out of our pot. Even though it's not all the way fully cooked through, that's all right. I'm gonna just dig it out of there. Dig. Now, unfortunately, I use the lean beef, so there's not much to the glaze here at the bottom. You know, if you've watched some of the previous videos on this channel already, you know what the glazing is. Gets us all that good flavor in our sauces. Fortunately, this meat right here is not deglazing very much. It's not glazing, I guess. Not a lot of fond. But that's all right. We're still gonna make a delicious sauce here. Okay. So we got our meat out, 90% of it at least. It's okay if it's not all. It's not really. It's not gonna burn. Add your garlic. All of it. Add you a little more oil if you need it. Don't be afraid of the olive oil now. There's no reason to be afraid of it. And give this a bad boy a good old stir. Now you're gonna want to cook this down so this garlic is real nice and fragrant. Right? Already bet you can smell this through the YouTube video. It's so fragrant. Right? You can add onions in. Garlic's not done cooking, mind you, but I'm adding my onions in now. We're gonna sweat them down. See how these onions are all white? Can't see through them hardly. We're gonna cook these down until they're translucent. This is called sweating our onions. We're using kind of a higher temperature here. So this is the time where you want to be constantly stirring these. But if you're not pressed on time and you got time, lower that temperature down. You know, take your time sweating these onions. There's no need to rush it. But in this case, we're at a 5 right now, as you can see on there. Right there. Right at a 5. So, you know, this is a decently hot pan. Keep stirring these bad boys. This probably will take about 5-ish minutes, maybe. You could already see they're, at least the smaller pieces, like over here, are getting a lot more translucent. They're not ready yet. Want to keep stuff moving so nothing in here gets the funny idea to get all burnt up. Now when these onions are just about done, we're going to add in that tomato paste. And what the tomato paste is actually going to do in this situation is it's going to actually form a little bit of that fond that we were missing from that beef. I mean, that beef did do a little bit of fond, as you can see in the bottom there, but really nothing too much. But that's a technique that they most commonly use when you're making like a ragu. And you're cooking down garlic, onions, celery, and carrots. And then you add that... You add that tomato paste, and then it becomes called a sofrito. And you just keep cooking that, and then eventually you deglaze it with wine and beef broth, which is exactly what we're going to do here. So kind of like the same start to a ragu, but not quite what we're doing today. Let's take a look at these onions. You can see already how much less white they are. Oh, let me turn this. Whoa! Look at that. Let there be light. Yeah. By the way, our water has been boiling for or on the stove, ready to boil for 19 minutes now. That's how long we are in this video. Still not fucking ready. Turns out I put it on 3. So, duh, obviously it's not going to be ready. It's on 3 heat, but that's okay. Just keep stirring these onions. They maybe got another minute or 2 on them. Let it hang out for like 30 seconds before I come back to them. Really don't want any of these to get burnt. That's why we're doing constant stirring. Not even burnt, but we don't want them to get browns either. None of that caramelization or any of that. Even though that is really good once you take them that deep, you know, but we're almost there with our onions. Almost. And you know what that means. It's right about time to add our tomato paste. But not yet. I feel like our tomato paste, I'm thinking of adding it in when the onions have another like minute left. I think these have another 3 about, so maybe another 90 seconds before we add that tomato paste in. You know, we'll play it by ear, see how they're looking. You can see that fond, these onions are even themselves developing a nice fond on the bottom there. There's also still a couple little pieces of beef in here which are contributing to that for sure. I'm getting a little tired, but that's all right. Just push these onions around. Fortunately, this is slightly of a longer process. We are going to have about a half hour of just meat sauce cooking. Coming right up in a couple minutes here. So that's going to be a lot of fun for you. Okay, tomato paste, look. Push down on this a little bit. Grab your top. Okay, look how easy this is. Just push, push, push. Falls right out. You can just pick that up nice and easy like. Usually, not even that much falls off. Boom. You know? Time to get to stirring. Now this you really want to make sure you're keeping moving. You can see it's real thick. There we go. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Just gonna let that tomato paste cook a little bit and get a little bit, I don't know, we're just gonna cook it. We're browning it, we're cooking it. You'll see. Almost there. We're not gonna do this for too much longer. And we're gonna add our wine and our broth at the same time. Ish. All right, add our wine. Oh yeah. See that deglazing? Get this to stir. Keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring. And then we're gonna add our broth in a second. Oh yeah. Broth time, baby. Broth time, baby. Broth time. Give this a good stir. Just deglaze the bottom of that pot. Oh yeah. Ooh. Just splashing tomato sauce everywhere. Time to turn our heat down a little bit. Keep stirring this, keep stirring this. Crucial part of the process right here. This is like kind of a higher meat sauce, you know? Then like we're kind of doing extra steps to make it taste extra good. It's not the fastest meat sauce you can make by any means necessary. And we're also combining 2 different methods here. Kind of combining the ragu style of meat sauce versus the bolognese type and making a hybrid with them. That's the fun thing about cooking, is that you get to experiment and do whatever the fuck you want. If you think it tastes good, try it. If it doesn't, next time, don't do it again. It's that simple. So we're adding our tomato sauce in here. We're gonna add just a little bit of water to these tomato sauce cans after we dump it out, just to get really the most out of our sauce. Give this a good mix to incorporate. Make sure everything is nice and mixed in together. Give that a taste. It's unseasoned, so it's not gonna taste amazing. We just want to make sure we didn't burn anything. You know, it doesn't taste burnt. Add that meat back in. Give that a good stir. And there you have it. That's your meat sauce. We're gonna cook this obviously for a little bit to let everything, all the flavors mingle together. some of the water to evaporate out of this to condense these flavors. It's at this point in the meat sauce where you want to try to avoid scraping the bottom of the pot, but it's quite all right. We're also going to add some more salt. Some more pepper. Much more pepper. We love that pepper. Adding a little bit of Slap Your Mama, just because I like it. Adds a little bit of spice. You don't have to add this in. Very yummy. Always have to taste. Get that washed. Couple red pepper flakes. Again, spicy. And last but not least, some provincial herbs. You guys. Give that a good stir. We're going to leave that between a 3 and a 4 to simmer for a little bit. All right, that is basically boiling. So what we're going to do now is add our pasta. Just going to add a full box, fuck it. Obviously give that a good stir. Oop, I forgot to water the pasta. So to salt the pasta water, I mean. Let you look back at this bad boy. We'll just let that hang out. I'll let you watch over it while I go do a little bit of laundry. It's probably going to take around 15 to 20 minutes of simmering over here before she is ready to plate or to put in our dish to be put in the oven afterwards. Just let it hang out. I have to make a cut. All right, I had to make a quick cut. Nothing's changed. It's only been about 40 seconds. Just letting this sauce cook while our pasta gets active. Nice and easy. Probably in the meantime, a good thing to start doing right now is cleaning up your area, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. All right, give this a good stir. Give our pasta a good stir. Get our dish ready. So we're going to be baking our bechamel in. There we go. And that unfortunately has just got to keep cooking, but we can taste it. See how it tastes. Wow, that tastes delicious. It's just a little bit watery for my liking. So we're gonna have to do what we do best and just let this bad boy simmer. Okay. It is time to check the pasta. I think the pasta's done. Let's do this. Put you back checking the meat. I'm gonna try this pasta. Oh yeah, perfect. Pasta's done. So what we're gonna do here is stir our meat. Just want this sauce to keep reducing here. It's gonna need more time, unfortunately, for us. But we're gonna take our bechamel out. A little bit of a spill I gotta take care of over here. Got our bechamel. Give it a good stir. Make sure you don't have like a film on top or anything like that. Good bechamel sauce right here. And we're gonna take a spoon and dump some out right into our pan, and we're just gonna spread some out into the bottom here. Doesn't need to be a lot on the bottom. I'll show you when I'm done spreading it just how much there is. Bring you over here. Just like that. Okay? Just a little bit. We're gonna drain our pasta. All right. Get this pasta drained right there. Put that off to the side. Shake that up. Want to make sure this pasta is really well drained. So we're going to keep shaking it for a moment. Make sure all that water is coming right out the pasta. Okay. Now we're going to grab this spoon and add about half the pasta straight into our bowl over here. Get this moved so you can see what we're doing. Just about half the pasta, right? So just like this. And spread that evenly amongst the bottom, just a little bit more maybe. Keep this off to the side. Take a little bit more bechamel sauce right here and kind of just do this. You know, doesn't need to be, this part does not need to be perfect. We're only adding a little bit, and just like that is well enough. Way more than enough. Let that sit for a minute or two while we keep working on this meat sauce here, which is almost done. It's looking good. Let's give this bad boy a taste over here. Oh yeah, that's tasting good. Okay, it's time. The time has come. We're gonna grab a big old ladle here. Big old ladle. We're gonna skim right off the top and add it. See what's going on there. We're gonna right here. A nice even layer. Straight to our pasta dish. Just like that. Get that nice good meat sauce in there. Oh yeah. And add most of our meat sauce into here. Into a nice even layer. Just keep adding it and adding it. Honestly, it's still a little bit watery. Might have been better if I waited a little bit. I'm trying to heat off anyways. Just gonna tilt it up for us here, be able to grab this a little better. There we go. All right. Move that off to the side. Go. That is the rest of the meat sauce, and now it's time to add the rest of the pasta. Also in a nice even layer. Try to spread that out as best we can. It's not the biggest dish that we have that ever exists, but it's what we have. I mean, there we go. Look at that. Oh freaking yeah, baby. Oh freaking yeah. Now we're gonna use the rest of this bechamel, and we're gonna try to make a nice even coating on top. So let's start getting this spread out. Just like that. Now this is traditionally, believe it or not, an Egyptian dish. Well, actually, we definitely believe it. Your dad used to make it. Unless you're not Ava watching this, then why are you watching? Get the fuck off this video. But anyways, Egyptian dish, made popular, I don't know when, I think I'm pretty sure in the 1900s over in the European area. There's a lot of other variations of this from different countries, obviously. Moussaka being one of the most popular ones, which also involves this kind of same style of meat sauce and bechamel mixing, but it has aubergine, also known as eggplant, which this obviously does not have. Now, I'm not ready to bake this quite yet. However, what we're going to want to do is bake this at 375 degrees for about 15-ish minutes. Then take it out of the oven and add our mozzarella cheese. That's right, I didn't forget it. You thought I forgot. I didn't forget about it. Add our mozzarella cheese on top of that and broil it for 4 to 5 minutes till that cheese crispens up. So for now, this is all we're doing. I'll see you when it's cooking. All right, quick update. Your nosy ass is on the phone over there. I'm trying to make these videos and you're like, I'm going out of here. So I had to be secretive. I already popped this bitch into the oven, right? We put tin foil on it and just put it right in there at 375-ish degrees, right? We're gonna put it in there for around 45 minutes. I know just a minute ago you heard me say 15. Fuck that. That was wrong. I was wrong. It's gonna be about 45 to 50 minutes covered, right? Covered. You can make it and prep it like I did in the fridge early on. However, take it out about an hour before cooking, if you're gonna do so, okay? See you when it's time to uncover it and add our mozzarella cheese on top for that nice, cheesy, crispy crust. All right, it's been about 45 minutes. So we took our thing out of the oven. Then we took this tin foil off and added a thin layer of mozzarella cheese to the top, right? About 2 cups worth for this big dish. Actually, more like a cup and a half for this big dish. And then we're gonna keep cooking this at 375 for about 10 minutes before turning our broiler on and crisping the cheese for 2 to 3 more minutes. Wasn't able to record this, but we did turn the broiler on for about 3 minutes, and this is what it's looking like after 3 minutes. Just perfect. Now we're just gonna let this stand for about 5 to 10 minutes before serving.